Welcome back. Jakarta Propertindo stated that the Formula E Jakarta or Jakarta E-Prix is planned to be held in 2022 after previously being delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, for the sake of this event, the Jakarta provincial government is known to have paid almost 1 trillion rupiah to Formula E operation or FEO.
Jakarta Propertindo stated that the Formula E Jakarta or Jakarta E-Prix is planned to be held in 2022 after previously being delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Jakpro revealed that the organizers continue to hold discussions with the private sectors and related parties for the success of this international standard event. In fact, the organizers are still considering several locations that have the potential to showcase the city branding and icons of the city of Jakarta. Even though there were a number of rejections, Jakpro's Port Payment Project Director M. Maulana claimed that the Jakarta E-Prix was considered to be materially and immaterially beneficial. He said by hosting Formula E, Jakarta was included in the list of very special cities, parallel to New York, Mexico, Rome and Paris. The Jakarta E-Prix event is even believed to be one of the triggers for the revival of the economy of Jakarta and Indonesia, which has been slumped by the global COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, the Supreme Audit Agency or BPK disclosed the results of the audit where it was found that the Jakarta provincial government had made payments to Formula E operation or FEO for organizing the event valued at 53 million pounds or equivalent to 983.31 billion rupiah in 2019 to 2020. IDX Channel team report.
After experiencing delays since last June 2020, the Jakarta Formula E or the Jakarta E-Prix is rumored to be held in 2022. Despite the pros and cons, the provincial or Jakarta provincial government said it would still make efforts to make this international standard event a success. But before going further, let's take a look at the data about the Jakarta E-Prix event in the first graphic. It was planned to take place on June 6, 2020, involving 24 races from 12 teams. The 2.58 kilometer circuit is located in the Jakarta National Monument area. The Jakarta provincial government has allocated a budget of 1.6 trillion rupiah for the Jakarta E-Prix event. Regional-owned enterprise Jakarta Propertindo or Jakpro was appointed as the executing organizer. Deputy Governor of Jakarta Ahmad Riza Patria said that the implementation of the Formula E event has become a program of the Jakarta provincial government and has gone through a long process. The implementation of Formula E has also entered the budgeting program and process and has gone through research studies conducted by independent consultants. So the Deputy Governor believes that the implementation of the racing event has gone through a good and correct process. Meantime, on the other hand, until now, Jakpro is the organizer, has not yet determined a new location that will be used as the Jakarta E-Prix 2022 circuit, because it is still under consideration. And not only that, Jakpro also ensures that the commitment fees that have been paid are not forfeited. And regarding the payment of the commitment fee, how much has the Jakarta provincial government paid to the Formula E operation of or FEO? We'll see the detail on the next graphic. These are the funds that have been paid to FEO for the Jakarta E-Prix. 20 million pounds sterling, equivalent to 360 billion rupiah paid in 2019. Meantime, another 11 million pounds sterling, equivalent to 200.31 billion rupiah paid in 2020. And the bank guarantee 22 million pounds sterling, equivalent to 423 billion rupiah. The total as much as 53 million as you can see, pound sterling, and equivalent to 983.31 billion rupiah. And the negotiation has been carried out regarding the withdrawal of bank guarantee funds has been approved by FEO on May 13, 2020. And various claims regarding the economic impact of the Formula E event have emerged. One of them from the Jakarta Propertindo as the organizer. The Jakarta provincial-owned company say that Formula E would have a direct impact on the economy in the range of 500 to 600 billion rupiah. President Director of Jakpro, Dwi Wahyu Daryoto, said that the economic impact came from the arrival of the Formula E operations or FEO team, which numbered around 2,000 people. They will stay for a week in Indonesia to prepare for the Formula E event. We also said that the indirect economic impact of the Formula E event for one day could boost the gross domestic product by up to 0.02%. He said that the growth came from expanding tourism due to Formula E. However, this claim is not just accepted by many parties. Even economists have criticized it. We will see more clearly later in the last graphic, but before that, we will go to the third graphic, which is about the fundings of the Supreme Audit Agency regarding the implementation of the Jakarta E-Prix. This is the opinion of Supreme Audit Agency or BPK on the Jakarta E-Prix. The executing organizer, Jakpro, are considered to have not been optimal in renegotiating with the Formula E operation or FEO related to cooperation and the status of funds that have been deposited. The executing organizer, Jakpro, cannot independently manage Formula E events. Activities supporting the implementation of Formula E run the risk of overlapping several task forces, increased risk of failure in organizing events, and the calculation of the estimated economic impact of the implementation of Formula E is less reasonable. And from these findings, the Supreme Audit Agency recommended that Jakarta Governor Anies Baswedan instruct the head of the Youth and Sport Agency to compile a design for the involvement of the parties, develop options for obtaining independent financing and revenue management plan, because BPK assesses that there is no clarity regarding the distribution of funding that can be continues to burden the Jakarta provincial budget. Then the head of the Youth and Sports Service and the director of Jakpro to be more intensive in clarifying the continuation of activities and making plans to anticipate obstacles that will arise, as well as to evaluate the results of the feasibility study reliably and adjust to the latest conditions of the impact of COVID-19. Apart from these findings, various parties also had pros and cons, one of which was economists. We'll see his opinion in the next graphic. This is M. Maulana, Project Director Sportainment of Jakarta Propertindo. He said that the Jakarta E-Prix 2022 will be one of the triggers for the revival of the economy of Jakarta and Indonesia, which has been slumped due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. Meantime, Karunia Mulya Firdausi, the economist of LIPI, he said that it would be better if it was cancelled, if it was just a postponing or positioning, because it would not have a double impact, but be it economically, consumption, or investment. Economist Karunia Firdausi assessed that the Formula E Jakarta event is more suitable to be called a stage-looking event rather than an event that can generate economic benefits, because the build Jakarta's attractiveness, it doesn't have to be such electric car racing or Formula E. There are many ways that Jakarta can have a good name in the world and not have to spend hundreds of billions of rupiah during the COVID-19 pandemic. That is why Firdausi proposed that the Jakarta provincial government to cancel the Jakarta E-Prix. Not over with the economic impact, the Jakarta E-Prix event in the National Monument area has also drawn controversy from cultural heritage experts. The head of the Jakarta provincial government's cultural heritage expert team, Mundarjito, questioned that the ethics of implementing Formula E at Monas. Even previously, the cultural heritage expert team denied that they had made recommendation for the implementation of the electric car racing, as the mentioned in the letter of the government or governor of Jakarta province to the Ministry of State Secretariat. If indeed the estimated economic impact of the Jakarta E-Prix is in accordance with the calculation then we need to appreciate it. But if there are indeed many rejections, problems here and there related to the implementation, then isn't it wiser to carry out an evaluation or even the toughest decision to cancel it? And stay with us because we'll be right back after the break.